Hi, I'm Jim Doyle, rider of the number 53 Nitro Funny Bike that competes in the AMRA, American Motorcycle Racing Association. Also the rider of the number 153 Top Fuel Bike of Dan Grendy Cycles. Thanks for taking the time to view this video resume. During this time, I'm going to explain to you the difference between the two classes, my plans for 2018, and what I think the 2018 season is going to look like. I'm also going to break down some of the preparations that all the racers go through while the bike's at home and between rounds. And as you can see, I like Mickey Thompson tires. I've been using Mickey Thompson tires for a long time now. And unfortunately for the Top Fuel Harley riders in the NHRA, National Hot Rod Association, Mickey Thompson likes us. They're going to run 3 years. They're going to sponsor the class. So that's why I'm actively seeking funding to try to compete on that level. I believe I can put together the best team I've ever had with the proper funding and compete with the big guys that are out there like Jay Turner, Ricky House, Bob Alloy. These are the guys that are running top of the game right now, and I want to be in the lane right next to them. I'm also going to explain the difference between the two classes. Okay, Top Fuel Harley is pretty much a run what you brung class. You can run unlimited cubic inches, many gears in the transmission as you'd like, a 2-stage or 3-stage lockup clutch, tire as wide as you like, and a multi-speed transmission. Unlike Nitro Funny Bike, we're limited to 151 cubic inches and a Mickey Thompson 13-inch wide tire. You can run a transmission. It's a high gear only class, meaning no transmission, no shifting, with a 2-stage lockup clutch. I'm going to take the time to explain the things that go into between rounds every time we take this bike back from the starting line and come back and take it apart. So at this time, I'm going to go around the other side of the bike and break down some things for you and show you what we have to do to prepare these machines before we even get to the track. Okay, after running the bike, we come back to the pits, and the first thing we do is take the clutch apart. Pull off the hat, pull off the throwout bearing, and there's the cannon for the lockup. The clutch slides out. We pull the clutch plates out and hang them on the foot peg, put a new fresh clutch pack in that's already been measured, straightened, checked for straightness, and everything that is going to make it work properly. Put the hat back on, put the cannon back on, and of course we'll change the oil, check the spark plug, see if we got a cracked plug or not, look around the bike for cracked stuff everywhere, loose things, because things fall off everywhere. We run this big 14mm Kevlar belt, which has been very good from Hawaii Racing. I've been very fortunate with these belts. They're really good things to have. We also have a Kevlar strap that holds the heads down in case there's an engine explosion. A lot of guys were getting hurt. The heads were coming off, going right through the frame rails and breaking the sternums of the riders. So we can thank guys of the like of Jim McClure who took the hit for us so that these rules were implemented after these guys were getting hurt. We also wear a bulletproof vest. It's a Kevlar vest. We wear a spine protector, special gloves, and I have a heat shield that goes on the inside of my leg that protects from the 15 to 1600 degrees that comes out of the exhaust pipes. After we put the oil and the plugs and everything back in, we'll air up the fuel system, because this fuel system is all operated by air, pressures, and timers. We have a race pack computer on here that senses all the readings on the bike. I have a sensor here. I have a sensor on the other side. This is the crankshaft and the sprocket. When the RPMs come together, that tells me this clutch is locked up solid. That's like a direct drive at that point, and usually on the bar and heading down the track at a pretty good speed. I'm going to pull the fender off here, and I'm going to show you what's underneath the seat. Okay, before we get under the fender, I want to show you this stuff first. All right, now I'm going to talk to you about some of the stuff that we do when we get ready before we even leave the garage with the bike. One of the things that we always do is bearings, rod bearings. This motor is not your average Harley motor, obviously. It has no flywheels in it. It has a crankshaft, like a car. It's a V8. This is a V-twin. It's just the cutoff of the end of the crankshaft inserted into these special cases. They're PRP cases. They're made in Canada. This is the funny car rod and piston that we use in them. And I have Teflon buttons in the pistons that we machine the holes in the pistons, relieve all the stuff for the valves and everything, and then insert these Teflons and then machine them down in a lathe to fit the cylinder so that it rides on the skirts instead of on the metal and doesn't score up the cylinder walls, and we get more life out of the motor. And then when we do the rod bearings, this little cap comes off the bottom. I drop this pan on the bottom of the motor, just kind of like the Top Fuel cars guys can do. They drop the pan down, they push the pistons and rods out. They insert new pistons and rods, usually in the same cases, or just re-sleeve the cylinders. We don't have to do that. We don't chew them up as much as they do, and I don't have to do that every round. But these bearings get squished, especially the top one, and the metal starts to come off and ends up in the motor somewhere, usually in the strainer in the pump, or a filter that I have somewhere in the motor. Okay, that's one of the operations. The other one is spark plugs. I take every spark plug out of the box, I pre-gap it, put the seal on it, and put a little never seize on it to make sure it doesn't bind up in the aluminum head. Because you strip out a hole at the track, you usually got put another head on. I do have a spare set of heads and cylinders and pistons that I bring with me. And one of the things that I have to do every time I come home is my clutch box. I have 8 packs, 6 to 8 clutch pack sets made up that I take with me on every race. These packs, they have a cindered plate, and then they have the steel plates. There's 9 of these and there's 8 of these. These things right now are listed for $30 a plate if you go buy them over the counter. I'm getting them from TSI. Harley Davidson is helping me get the plates. So thanks, Harry, at TSI. And I have number, because there's clearances. I run a pack size clearance. And I measure this pack size with this caliper, and I make sure that I get it within 2 or 3 thousandths of what pack size I want. And if the plates are all bent up, I check them on this glass here, and I'll run them around and make sure that they're straight. And if they're bent up or they're warped, I'll send them down to DJ at American Cycle, and DJ grinds them for me, and he sends them back, and I measure every one of them, tag them, and label them. So when I go to set my packs up, I can just select whatever plate I want and insert it into this pack and get my exact number that I want. And that's what we do between rounds. Now this is the lockup clutch. I mentioned to you before that the bike was a high gear bike. It has a shaft in it. I'll show you the jack shaft. This is the jack shaft. It goes from one side of the bike to the other. There's no transmission. It's just this one big shaft. As you can see, I already twisted this one. It's still good. I can use it if I have to, but I carry it with me. But it's kind of twisted, so I put another one in. And then I explain to you what the clutch hat does. Now here's a newer clutch hat that I haven't put on the bike yet. It has all these fingers. And we put all these weights on these fingers. Depending on how good the track is working, if you're on a track that's really good and it's hooking up really good, you can add more weight to this clutch and make the bike leave the line harder. If the track's not that good, you got too much weight on, you're going to smoke the tire. You're going to be in the pits sooner than you want it loaded. Now, after putting 1.5 quarts of Valvoline 60 racing oil, which I use, and a new clutch in and the Autolite spark plugs, I'll come back here and I'll check all the timers and the wiring and make sure the wiring is good. I have 2 batteries back here. I use remote control car batteries, some little cars, the little electric cars. One I use just for the computer and for the fuel system, and the other one I use just for the ignition system. I run 2 coils, 4 plugs, 2 plugs on each side. It fires one side, then the other side. They fire together, all 4 plugs. I have nozzles, 4 nozzles in the heads. It shoots the fuel in on 2 sides of the head. And then the air can's in the front, and the timer's in here. This is the race pack computer right here, where all the pickups come in here and they report over here. After every run, we plug in a cord and download everything into the laptop, and I can go back and read the graphs and the charts. It'll tell me where the fuel pressures fell off, when the clutch locked up, what the exhaust port temperatures were, fuel pressure, oil pressure. I mean, it just gives you an amazing amount of information that we never used to have before when I started doing this back in 1984. We used to just take the spark plugs out and look at them and say, oh, it looks a little lean in that cylinder. We'll put some more fuel in it, or we'll take some timing out of it. And that's how we pretty much tuned them then. Now it's a lot more technical than that. And I don't even have the most latest up-to-date stuff on this bike. But we're still hanging in there. Currently in 3rd place in the AMRA after missing the first race. We qualified number 1 at the last race in Kentucky and ended up, we lost in the finals. I had some difficulties with the fuel system. But we're going to, next race is in Martin, Michigan, and I'm planning on being there for that event. So at this time, I just want to let you know that the rest of this video is going to be runs from the race that I ran in October last year. And in 2015, I had an accident, and I nearly lost my foot, and they put it back on. I walk a little funny, but I still race just as good. I'm not as quick in the pits, but I'm just as fast on the track. And I'm going to make sure that I do that. I may not always be the fastest guy out there, but I can guarantee you that I'm one of the guys working the hardest in the pits to be that guy. So if you want to be part of this team, please get a hold of Jim Doyle Racing, and I'll be glad to talk to you about what we need to do to campaign this bike. Okay, so then just take a look at the rest of the stuff on it. We'll narrate it and let you know where it is and so forth. And there's also a video on here of an interview with Sandra Alberti, who's doing a fantastic job of going to all the races. She's part of the Top Fuel Harley Association. And if you go on Facebook to Sandra Alberti's site, there's a lot of videos of these bikes. And if this race comes to your town, you should come watch these bikes because they go 225 miles an hour in 6 seconds. And it's really a sight to see. Plus the nitro smells really cool. Thanks for taking the time to watch this. Hope to see you at the track.
It's Sunday evening, Bowling Green, Kentucky. We're here for the AMRA Summer Shootout, and I'm here with your #1 qualifier in Nitro Funny Bike, Mr. Jimmy Doyle. Congratulations.
Well, thanks. It's been quite a journey to get to this point.
You've been at this quite a while, haven't you?
I started running nitro in 1984.
Wow.
I've been messing with it for a while. You can go through cycles where you get everything right, it runs good, and then you just kind of fall off and you lose the tune-up, and then you have to work to get it all back again. It was kind of a struggle just getting down here with this weather. We're battling the rain and the floods on the highways and the cars all twisted up and stuff. And I'm short with a crew this weekend, and I'm pulling double duties riding the Top Fuel bike, the Dan Grendy. So we got that qualified at number 5. And number 1 with this in 690s. So I'm looking for a little more out of it tomorrow. We should be able to do some better stuff with it.
Best of luck to you. You look great out there today.
All right, great. Thank you.
Rockingham, North Carolina, October 2016. First round of qualifying for Nitro Funny Bike and my first pass down the track since my accident in 2015.
what it was?
And he was limping.
Rockingham, North Carolina, American Motorcycle Racing Association, first round qualified in Top Fuel with the Dan Grendy blow injected Top Fuel bike. Same race, second round qualifying, Nitro Funny Bike. This run here was good enough to get me the number 2 spot in the funny bike category. Same event, second round of qualifying, Top Fuel Bike, Dan Grandy Cycles. With this run, we were qualified to run the Outlaw class in that event. Final round for the win. In Top Fuel category, the Outlaw class of the AMRA race in Rockingham, North Carolina, October 2016 with the Dan Grandy Top Fuel blower bike.
Doyle.
Nice job. Nice job. Nice job. Nice job.
Love it, huh? Woo! He stayed on it even though he was all over the track. That thing broke loose mid-track on him.
No kidding.
Oh yeah, he stayed in it.
At this time, I need to thank all my sponsors for their help over the years. And to Mike Lavoie from Iron Thunder for putting this film together. Thank you, Mike. Thanks to Emily Kendall for all your help at the track. And my long list of sponsors that have helped me over the years. Ludlow Printing, Limelight Cafe, Ronnie the Clam Clifford, Jim Doyle Heating, Al Shatterow Remodeling, Denny Cove Welding, Thibault Oil Company, and Vickers Oil Company. All Hose Incorporated, the Out and About magazine, TSI Harley Davidson in Ellington, Connecticut, Gendon Auto Parts, Page Boulevard, Springfield, Mass, Boulevard Machine on Page Boulevard in Springfield, B&R Machine in Ludlow, Gary's Jeeps in Chicopee, Advanced Welding in Springfield, Mass. The Blarney Stone Tavern. Classic Auto Restoration, Trantolo and Trantolo in Hartford. The law firm of Trantolo and Trantolo. McCarthy's Tavern and the new O'Brien's Corner. Thank you everybody for joining Jim Doyle's Nitro Nation. See you at the track. All right, stay tuned for a couple more clips I'm sure you'll enjoy. New York, August 2015. This run was set the track record at 225 miles per hour. I already had the ET record at 6.60 seconds. This bike currently also holds the AMRA mile per hour national record at 213 miles per hour. Second round of qualifying at an AMRA race also in Rockingham, North Carolina, but in 2014. This pass was good enough for the #1 qualifier.
Rich Freeland really put on a beautiful pass.
All right, thanks everybody for watching, and paper resumes are available, so please call me, Jim Doyle, at 413-273-2616, or go to Jim Doyle Racing on Facebook. See you soon. Bye.